channel. You are tuning into 50 Flavors of Bree, and I am Bree, of course. And on this channel, you will see a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of all that. And today in this video, it is what's the tea with tacos? I'm kidding, I don't know. It's actually some nachos. I did make them on some better chip, whole grain chip, organic steak with some reduced fat cheese, lettuce, pico, sour cream. There's no skimping on that. There's no other route. I need the sour cream. I need it. It's the staple to the nacho. What's a nacho without sour cream? Something that's nachos. It needs to go right in the trash. I'm kidding. But, and then I have some avocado and cilantro lime dressing that I made. I ran out of the other one and I was just like, I got this stuff here, let me just whip some up real quick. But before we get into this video, I just want to say, if this is your first time here, hey friend, if you're back, hey family. Before I get into this video, I just want to go ahead and say grace to get that out the way. I'm back, and today in this video, it's actually going to be a story time, honey. Yes, a story time about a fake friend. But I have some water here. I just filled it up. Just filled it right on up. We got tacos and tea with Bree. Even though it's nachos. Tacos and teas with little old Bree. Let's go ahead and dig into one of these. Look at this. Well, let's not look at that. Let's get a cheesy one. Look at that cheese pull. It's kind of warm now because I waited. I never had these chips before. And of course I got my little drip plate back here. This is so good. The crunch on the chip is like really in there. I'm gonna take a few bites first, and then I'll get into the story. It's not Tuesday for me, but you'll get this on Tuesday. This is so good. Naked, you outdone yourself. I remember one day after church, this homeless man asked my little cousin, he was like, "Hey kid, you got through box?" Like, first of all, he is a kid. He was like 8. I was like, "Hey kid, you got through box?" So he just looked like money. Alright, he was walking in his purpose. Look at him. But let me go ahead and get into the story time real quick, because I don't want this to be a long drawn out video. But we're gonna use royalty now, Nike and royalty. In this story, Nike and royalty friends. I have to lead up to the story that I want to talk about. So I worked at a retail store. I'm not a cashier type of person. I like money, so you're not gonna catch me ringing anybody's groceries. And as you guys know, I'm an introvert. I don't like talking to people. I don't need that human interaction. I work in the back. And our turnover rate at this company was high because people just didn't like to come to work. Story short. But because I worked in the back and, you know, I got muscles, I wasn't scared to breaking down. That meant I worked with a lot of guys. I mean, I'm a bro. I'm cool. We can vibe, we can chill. But to other people, Bree, she a thought because she worked with all, first of all, it's skirt. She's not. she just has to pay for daycare and other stuff. So at the time, $7 an hour ain't cutting nobody's bills, okay? Long story short, I was working with this guy. You know how when you meet somebody, you don't get too personal? Like, you let them know enough to know what you're talking about, but you're not going to give details on names, events, places, times, none of that. You're just going to keep it pretty flat. That's like with meeting anybody and then you're like, oh, you got kids? I got kids. I got 2 kids. You never say the name or anything like that because it's not that kind of shindig, you know? So, anywho, I ended up having to train this guy. It was cool. He mentioned his kids, his ex, but he never said names. I don't know. He never said, oh, da 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 da. It wasn't that type of party. We wasn't mingling or anything like that. We just worked together. We kicked it. We had fun. We laughed. Like our whole shifts, we laughed and we'll have a gay old time. But we had fun. Long story short, I ended up leaving that job. And I started working at a new job. And in there, when we all started in the training class, I gravitated to the older ladies that was in the training class because I'm not saying that they weren't on my level or anything. It's just, I knew we weren't gonna vibe out, if that makes sense. Like, you know who you'll mesh with and you know who you're not gonna mesh with. And it was just those type of people I just knew I wasn't gonna mess with. So, you know. So one day, we on lunch, long story short, this girl came up to me and she just started talking to me. I think I said this story, I don't know. She just started talking to me out of the blue. We get cool, we graduate training and stuff, and come to find out, she lived like less than a block away from me. Long story short, she was a heavy drinker. She used to drink to the point where she either wrapped around a pole in somebody's house, like her car in somebody's house, or she didn't have like accidents. The day I was headed on a road trip to North Carolina, it was out the blue, it was random. And she was out drinking. And she was like, oh, Bree, can you come take me home? I'll just come get my car in the morning. I'm like, cool. Packed the kid up and we went to go get her. And mind you, we was this cool where if she needed anything, I had her. Like, I remember there was a time she couldn't get gas. I filled her tank up. She needed cigarettes. Our kids went to the same school. They needed a ride home. I took them to. We went to the outlets, food shopping. Like, we was cool. We wasn't best friends, but we was cool enough to know I'm meeting her family. She's meeting mom. We going out together. Back to the night that's in question. I told her to be outside. She wasn't outside when I got there. And I went. And I'm looking for her. In the midst of looking for her, I see the guy that I was training that I just talked about. And we catch him and he was like, oh my God, I ain't seen you, and da 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 da. He's like, this the only person I know who tank stay on full. He's like, how you riding it? It just stay on full. She tweaked her gas tank. He always used to say that. And I remember I had seen him at the gas station one day, and I was just going. I don't know why I was going there, probably for a Red Bull or something. He was like, I bet your tank ain't no full. I was like, I bet you it is. So I go in, we just catching up, and then the audacity. This chick, she come up to me like, you up here meeting B-words, buying drinks and stuff. Like, girl, first of all, I didn't even have a drink. I didn't have a jack. He was like, do you know who this is? It turns out this guy was her best friend's baby's father. I didn't know that. She talk about, nobody said names. He ain't never said nothing about this girl, his baby moms. She ain't never said nothing about her best friend baby, because that's not their place, right? I can't help who I know. So she made this whole thing going on because I knew who he was. Like, he ain't seen his kid. Like, calling him all types of deadbeats. Mind y'all, they was in this bar this whole time together, and y'all didn't cross paths. It was that big. That big. Listening back to this, that bar was a hole in the wall. It literally was. So it just makes me think y'all two there together, and y'all tried to put the blame on me. Am I wrong? What was y'all doing? I'm just like, I'm not even here for this. I'm just, I'm the crazy taxi driver. I'm the supportive friend. So she done sat there drunk as I don't know what. Drunk as all get out, lying, calling her best friend like, guess who CJ up here meeting. CJ up here buying drink. I forgot to say name, but here. CJ up here buying drinks for Bree. And I don't have no damn drink. Sorry. I ain't even had no GD drink. I ain't had no drink. I had nothing. I had a road trip to be up for like hours later. It was like 2 out. I was like to leave at like 4 or 5. So I ended up getting her drunk butt home. And the next day, I still got the messages. I'm gonna try to answer it. I get this long message like, whatever you went back and told CJ, he definitely went back and told Royalty. I'm like, I don't know these people like that. You do. You the common freaking denominator. I don't know them. She's like, whatever you went back and told CJ, he definitely told Nike. Did I say Nike? But basically, he went and told his baby mama what she said. She lied and said it was me. I don't know you. I don't know you. That was your best friend who was drunk, spilling all y'all tea to this man. He lied and said it was me. I ain't had Jack today. I'm just an innocent bystander. So long story short, it's like days later. We went on a road trip and came back, and the girl, Royalty, she popped up at my house. And I'm just like, okay. She's like, what you about to do? I'm like, I got stuff to do. I got to get the house situated since I'm just coming back. I got to, grocery shop, do all this. She's like, oh, I just wanted to see if you want to come out. I'm like, no. I was like, what's on your sitter? And she's like, well, I'll find a sitter. Lo and behold, this girl tried to set me up. After she didn't talk stuff about her best friend her best friend was so convinced that she confided this stuff that she was saying to me, and I said it. I don't know you. And why would you even believe her? Why would you even believe her? What do I have to gain from that? It was like, this man ain't took care of his kid in like 10 years. He don't even pay child support. She was just going off the deep end. I wouldn't have known all this stuff. He never said her name, and we worked together like 3 years ago. She acting like this stuff is brand spanking new. But yeah, she was like, let's go to this place. There was nowhere to park, so I ended up turning around and going home. Because only person I park in blocks for is Jesus. If I gotta park blocks to get to my destination and walk, especially in Milwaukee, no. Not doing it. So I turned around and she was like, oh, just follow me. I'm like, okay. I'm like, where we going? Because she be knowing all the spots. So I'm like, where we going? She's like, just follow me. Me not realizing there was a car behind me following me. I'm just following her, you know? And we get to this parking lot where it's like a one-way in, one-way out type of deal. And me, I pay attention to my surroundings. And I'm just like, okay. And then all of a sudden, this girl get out the car like, beware, what's that stuff he was? I'm like, who are you? And she was like, yeah, I found out all that. I was like, that was her talking. It was Nike talking stuff. I left this part out, but I ended up showing the girl the text messages that I included where I'm telling her it was her. And basically her not denying it, and then she knew it wasn't me. That whole situation made me so mad because, and that's why I don't drink now, because people will get drunk and will blame you for all type of stuff. And they be just as fake as they come. Like, how dare you sit here and blame me for some stuff? I don't know this woman. You sat here and spilled all her tea. Not the first occasion, but you didn't spill all her tea and then try to blame me. Thank you. I'm here to meet up with the baby dad, and I'm here to pick your ask me no more questions behind self up. Make that make sense. You call me, ring, 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 come pick me up. I'm like, okay. I get there, you're not outside like you're supposed to be. So I go in looking, and he see me, and I'm like, hey. And then you take that, I'm like, oh, you up here buying B-Words drinks, and you call your best friend and say, oh, guess what? Why CJ up here buying such and such drinks and this, that, and the other? Like, yeah, she up here something. No, that was you. You said that. In that situation, I started talking about the back of this dude's head because we was here packing hot dogs. Trying to change the subject, enlighten, and we wouldn't break the ice, like, because it just went from me picking you up to something that it shouldn't have been. Freaking liar. And then we still work together, so when we got back to work, she tried to, the girl who started all this mess, she tried to bring her kids up there to speak to me. I ignored the blankety blank out those kids. Like, you cannot use kids to try to win me back over because you want her not speaking anymore. It doesn't work like that. I hate fake women. That's what I'm saying. My sisters were my first enemies, and I swear I try not to get too close to women I know that's bad to say, but you just gotta be careful these days. After that, I never. And you know how people always say you just work with these people, they're not friends. I really looked at this person like a friend. There were so many red flags like before we even got to that point that I just ignored. And you know, you try to find out who someone is for yourself versus listening to what other people listening to what other people tell you. You know, in regards to YouTube, I should have listened to other people because people was definitely who others said that they were. But that's besides the point. Well, that was all for this video. As Boy Stop Capping would say, do all that YouTube stuff that you're supposed to do. Holla at a play when you see me in the street. Bye.